Now I'd like to introduce you to Mehdi Karbasian, a man well placed to speak to us today about the opportunities and challenges for investors in Iran in a very real sense. As chairman of IMIDRO, the state-owned enterprise which manages Iran's formidable mining and mineral resources, he's in the front line of driving the country's hoped-for economic growth. Yet as Deputy Minister for Industry and Trade and Mining, he's equally responsible for helping to devise the very policies that will actually attract those foreign investors. So, Mr. Karbasian, I'd like to welcome you onto the stage and hear what you have to say. Thank you.
The merciful, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much, Peggy. It's my pleasure and honor to be here with you in Zurich for the third Europe-Iran Forum. First of all, I'd like to extend my special thanks to BHP emissary to arrange this event, to share our information and ideas, and to find opportunities for a better mutual win-win cooperation between Iran and European community. In very near future, I'd like also welcome to all distinguished guests and participants. As you know, Iran and Europe have been close partners for thousands of years, and our cultural exchanges and trade were always helpful for a better co-understanding and, of course, for a better human civilization as well. Now today, as Iran and global powers reach a compromise in nuclear issues and sanctions and barriers are being removed, I believe it's the right time to turn the page and open a new chapter of relations based on common interests and mutual trust in this new era of history. What is Iran looking for is to be melted and more integrated in the global economy to develop its share and to be considered as a major trading economy to develop its share and to be considered as a major trading partner interacting with global and regional players like European community. Since the implementation of JCPOA, Iran has started to accelerate its bilateral ties with global communities such as China that agreed to expand the trade between two nations to more than $600 billion within 10 years. During an official visit of President Xi, also in an official visit of President Rouhani to Italy and France in January 2016, several major MOUs contracts worth of $14 billion. And as you heard in the news, in last 2 days, the president of South Korea, were in Tehran and signed a lot of MOUs around $25 billion in infrastructure, in steel, in other major economy ties. In a word, I can tell you that Iran is with the oil, with the gas, with the mine, and the strategic place that it is in the Middle East, it's going to be an emerging market, I can tell. Europe always has been considered as Iran's largest trading partner before the sanctions. And now in post-sanction era, we are looking for not only a normal relation, but also much more extended than before. With huge reserve of oil and gas, we are planning for expansion of capacities to export more to Europe as one of the major energy importers. This will bring more security to future of energy supply in EU on the one hand. On the other hand, Iran is seeking for $250 billion investment in infrastructures, oil and gas, industries, mine and mining industries, and so on, based on its sixth development plan, which began from March 2017. Hence, there would be great opportunities for European firms, investors, banks, financial institutions, contractors, suppliers to not only participate in the projects as contractors and financiers, but also as investors and long-term shareholders. And this will drive us toward a long-term business relation and a strategic partnership. Ladies and gentlemen, now I'd like to draw your kind attention more focused Iran with population of 80 million and a GDP close to 400 billion US dollar, located on the Middle East with Persian Gulf in south, Iraq and Turkey in west, Afghanistan and Pakistan in the east, and Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, Armenia, and CIS countries in the north. We are a hub for future transportation and a route to international seas and markets for more than 10 countries. I'd like to draw your kind attention to the Iranian Mines and Mining Industries Development and Renovation Organization, IMIDRO, that I'm the chair. IMIDRO is Iran's largest state-owned holding company that covers all major mine and mining industries in Iran. IMIDRO is a government company, however, has got its own flexibility and freedom like a private company, which this makes IMIDRO a reliable partner for foreign companies which are looking for a safe, reliable partner to develop their business in Iran's mine and mining and metal sector. Some of IMIDRO responsibilities including planning new projects, allocating budgets, making policies for Iran's mine and mining industries. Unlike some other oil export countries, Iran is not so dependent on oil revenue and relies on a wide range of industries like auto, petrochemical, carpet, agriculture, food industries, shipbuilding, and of course, mine and mining industries. Iranian government is planning to reach a growth of rate of 8% in its sixth development plan. That I said to you, it begins on March 2017. Plan in which mines and mining industry sector will have to grow annually more than 8.8%. To meet demand, so it means that a huge investment, more than 40 billion US dollars, required to invest in steel, aluminum, copper, zinc, and related mines and exploration, as well as its infrastructure. Now, let's talk about exploration, which is IMIDRO priority to develop as the first cycle of the mining chain. We have a comprehensive plan to increase our exploration activities to a new level of 250,000 square kilometers, of which 50% has already been completed. And fortunately, we have found some new potential resources for zinc, iron, copper, and gold. And we are willing to share these potentials with interested partners and investors to complete the job. In a steel section, Iran, with a production capacity of 23 million ton, ranks 14th in the world. In copper, we stand as 12th with annual production of 350,000 tons. And in aluminum, we stand as 17th with 200,000 ton annual production. As part of our roadmap, 350,000. As part of our roadmap, our steel demand will increase to 40 million ton by 2025. And Dr. Sobhani, the president of the Mubarak Steel Company, the biggest in Iran, will talk about it later on. So we are planning to meet a production capacity of 55 million ton which includes a 15 million ton for export. IMIDRO estimates that more than $30 billion investment is required to achieve this goal. Our outlook for aluminum and copper by 2025, 1.5 million ton and 450 million tons, and another $10 billion investment requires. Also, for other mining products like pigment from titanium, petroleum coke, value-added products in metal and mining sector in both and downstream, and strategic materials like rare earth elements that recently we have produced more than 6 elements such as cerium oxide, praseodymium, neodymium, and others. From the cost point of view, Iran has one of the lowest production costs for mines and mining industry due to low price of energy, low cost of royalty, low labor costs, and other advantages such as access to international sea, railway, and transport system with suitable tariff. We have a very efficient network of electricity as well as natural gas pipeline that would shortly accessible in most of projects. Since the beginning of President Rouhani, government point-of-point inflation rate reduced from 40% to 13%, and in this Iranian year supposed to be one digit, 9.8 as the plan, while this rate decreased that. According to international reports, our global competitiveness has been improved by 17 steps, 83 to 66. And in some cases, like market size index, we ranked as 19th, and in education, we ranked 47. In 2016, the government has set a tone of seeking growth while maintaining stability in the market and currency, which efforts going to stabilize growth, overhaul the tax law in favor of investment. In currency and stock market, we have seen upward trend, real now stronger by 10%. Also, despite turmoil in the world stock market, Tehran Stock Exchange raised up to 20% and is still ascending. Oil revenue is also rising again, and export to Europe restarted. As there is going to be more stability in economy, we are expecting more investors willing to invest in Iran's mine and mining industries, sector that seems to be beneficial for both parties. Ladies and gentlemen, as Iranian is going to experience a much faster growth in the coming Iranian year that begins 21st of every March, IMIDRO is working to increase international competitiveness of mine and mining industry sector in Iran with a proven and probable reserve of 57 billion tons, 68 kind of mineral resources. We have defined plenty of projects and willing to discuss those as well as other projects in this field. Based on investors' priorities and willingness, IMIDRO shall participate as a shareholder in a form of JV company on behalf of government to help and speed up approval process, receiving required licenses as well as investment. Also, we will support investors to the process of getting FIPA application, which is guarantee from Iran government to protect the investors' capital in case of any changes in laws and regulations, and to ensure return to revenue outside the country. We have different new and upcoming projects in exploration, mine development, and mining industries which are ready for investment and are willing to start discussion with potential interested parties to find a common way. To sum up, I would like to invite you to pay a visit to Iran and especially Isfahan, my city. Peggy's husband is from Scotland. I got my PhD from Scotland, and I got my MBA from United States, Oklahoma City University, and advanced management course in Canada. But the Scottish people in the world, they said somehow they are close to Isfahanis. But you know, it's not right, is it? No, we spend a lot of money, yes. Anyhow, it's a beautiful city, and I invite all of you to come over. And in Iran, the annual mining event called IMIS 2016 is going to be in July 11 and 12, and you can join in this meeting too. I'd like to thank BHP Emissary again once more, and thanks Peggy and all of you. And my colleagues and myself can give you all information after the meeting. I'm here around, and we can let you all of the information you are in need. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Karbasian, would you a couple of questions? Is that all right?
Okay.
Do you mind?
But not
I'll be
hard
gentle.
questions.
I'll be gentle.
Okay,
I'll
are
be
you
gentle.
sure?
I promise. Well, maybe just a little. I mean, I hope you don't mind, but I think people would be fascinated to hear, especially after what we've heard from Mr. Blanc in the State Department this morning. You've laid out a wonderful array of opportunities in one of the most fascinating sectors in Iran. You have an amazing wealth of resource. But the question is, to what extent are you seeing a disconnect between what's said and what you can actually do on the ground? You heard Mr. Blanc this morning. There didn't appear to be a lot of comfort in terms of resolving these real financial issues that appear to be holding back investment. How do you feel about that? What are you seeing? Is there some frustration that what you want to do appears maybe to be being held back?
Because I'm the working side, you know, I'm not a politician or lawyer. On the working side, I can tell you that these days we had a chance. 2 days ago in Tehran, we signed an agreement with a German company for 25 million euro. Yesterday we had a meeting, good meeting with a group of other Germans, bank, local bank, for a 15 million again US dollar, euro. It means that it began. Yeah, because I said in here a lot about US dollar. Mr. Blanc, you know, still I'm, you know, I don't. Where is he? I think that we're going to go is by, you know, a sick person, it takes time to be really healthy. You don't go to have in Iranian name chelo kebab in foreign a steak. A sick coming back, give him a steak. Go again to a hospital. Yeah. Give him soup at first. It is the time that I think that the sanction hurt us so much, and it hurts Europe and America and everywhere. You know, it's lose-lose situation. You know. And we're going to to change it to win-win situation, begin with soup, and near future we have a steak, a good steak, yes.
Would you be willing to take a question from the audience? Would you be willing to take a question from the audience? Would you be willing to take questions from the audience? One or two?
Just economy.
Just economy. Are there any questions from the audience for Mr. Karbasian? There must be questions. It's such a wonderful opportunity. There must be people who'd be interested to know how to actually get involved.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Well, no, I have a question about.
I appreciate Peggy.
I have a question about global economy. Then, obviously, you're doing this at precisely a time when commodity prices are very, very low. You've talked about export ambitions as well, say, for example, in steel. And I just wonder how this changes your plans, or even holds back some of your ambitions. How will you cope with coming back into the market precisely at the time when prices are very low and there's overcapacity?
You know, one of the very good opportunity in Iran, as I mentioned in my words, is gas. You know, in mining industry, the most important thing is energy, or gas. In aluminum, you know, that is very important, in steel and in everything. It means that the cost of those production mining industries in Iran is low and very compatible in the world price. And for your information, last year, in the bad situation of steel, Iran export 4.1 million ton steel. In that, you know that steel was very bad last year in 2015, and still is not okay. And I think it's a real good chance, especially in the south part of Iran, close to Persian Gulf and Oman Sea. We have several, free zone over there. And it means that it's a real chance over there. You know, I was 2 years the chair and head of the Asaluye, I was there because my base is the petroleum guy. I was the member of the NIOC a long time. And I know that is a big chance for the investors to come to Iran and invest in the free zone for the import-export, very free, and it's a chance in mining store. Because in Iran, we have, as I mentioned to you, 57 billion tons reserve of mining just till now explored. I mean that it's going to be more than that, and it's a chance for them.
I think my final question would actually be one about, again, you've talked a lot about getting guarantees for some of these foreign investors when they come in that, if there are any changes in the law, they will be insured in a way. But how are you dealing with some of the questions about transparency and ownership? What sort of efforts are you making there to help with, we've talked about proper due diligence, et cetera. What changes are you making in order to give comfort to the investors that when they're investing, they know all the background, they know the ownership, they have clear view of who they're doing business with?
The FIPA, as we had this law and regulation in Iran, it really ensured any investor to bring the money inside Iran and invest. It's surely safe by the government, and they can take the profit back to their home. The most important thing that the currency exchange is supposed to be not go very high and low, like these days Venezuela or something like that. You know that. The bankers are here, Mr. Qasemi and Mr. Afhamidi. They can answer you better than me. But in the mine and mining sector, every foreigner could have 100% shareholder of a company in this sector. Okay. It means that it's really, really open by law.
So no barriers on foreign ownership.
But it's better to come and share with a private sector Iranian or with IMIDRO, a good guy like me. Okay, come on in.
On that note, I want to thank you very much for a fascinating presentation. We've run a bit over.
Thank you, Peggy.
Thank you very much.